Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farm, and today is going to be another full day of excavating on the pond project. Yesterday, we made huge progress to where we've now got a slope I can drive in and out of pretty easily, but I've got so much more to do. So as I came outside to work on this, I was thinking I probably had 2 or 3 more days of digging before I could break the dam and start filling the pond. And I actually considered that today's video would be kind of a repeat of yesterday's video, so maybe I shouldn't publish anything about this. But I was shocked by how much I was able to get done. I did spend the entire day out here digging, and at the end of this video, you're going to see water in the pond again. But I really don't want to repeat everything I said yesterday on talking about the technique for digging out the ponds and the type of equipment that's used and all of that. So I'm going to try to make this video really short and just kind of give you the highlights, and then we'll skip to the fun part, which is breaking the dam. So at the end of this video, I'm going to have water in the pond again, but I would say I'm a very long way from being done with everything I want to accomplish here. And the biggest challenge still remaining is how I'm going to compact the new island. All right, so I widened this out another 6 foot or 7 foot, however wide each pass is that I do on this. And I don't think I can do another one. See how steep it gets here? Even fading that back, I'm not going to be able to maintain that angle that I can drive down with the box blade. I'm going to go ahead and dig this the way I have been. But if you look here, I've got this sweep coming around there. It's got to come back. It can't keep going that way. It's got to come back because of where the bridge sits. So that means that this is going to have to get steeper and steeper or more shallow at the bottom. So what I could do is cut this angle off right here and then go down in the bottom and kind of build in that hole right there. That strategy that I just described is exactly what I did, and it worked perfectly fine. As we get closer to the bridge, this bank gets a little steeper than I would like it to be, and that's just because the bridge is a fixed object that I can't move, or not easily, and that means that I can't back up the bank next to the bridge like I did everywhere else. It's not a big deal, it's just a little bit of a difference. And the end result is, on most of the pond, after I do this initial digging with the excavator, I'm able to take the tractor back down into the pond with the box blade and drag out the material, kind of pack everything down and smooth it out. And over here by the bridge, I wasn't able to do that. In yesterday's video, someone asked me why I wanted to make the pond deeper. And actually, making it deeper is not a priority for me, but it is on my to-do list. The reason you don't want to start off with a shallow pond, especially in a situation like mine, is that most of the time you're going to have your rainwater running off into the pond, and as it does that, it will bring soil with it. And the longer your pond is there, the shallower it gets. So if you dig a farm pond that is, say, 10 foot deep, in 20 years it might be 5 foot deep. And that's just a natural occurrence that pretty much always happens unless your pond is set up where runoff does not enter the pond. So I started off with kind of a shallow section of pond over here when I dug this, and I'd like to stretch it from 5 feet down to 10 feet. And we accomplished that. Now, that is one of my goals, but it's not the primary goal. The primary goal of doing this is to reinforce the pond island so it stops eroding. Secondary goal is to make the pond a little bit bigger. Third goal is to make maintenance easier by reshaping the pond bank where I can drive down in it. My fourth goal is to make the pond dam on the opposite side of the pond a little bit wider. Making it deeper is just a side benefit. So I've skipped ahead a few hours because I feel like what I'm doing on this slope is very repetitive. And when I get down to that end, I'm going to take the machine out onto the land bridge, and that's going to be different. So we're going to spend more of this time on this video doing that. But what I've got right now is you watched me do this side. I've done the other side to match. And I'd say that's probably been at least 3 hours since I had the camera on. And I guess I'll record a little bit of finishing this up, and then we'll move on to the next section of this project. I honestly didn't think I'd be able to drive the tractor down in there and pull the material back up. I just didn't think the tractor would have enough torque. But it handled it every time, no problem. I was pretty impressed. It's hard for me to put into words how thrilled I am with this. I love the way the bank slopes, and then I was able to kind of work it down to the end and taper off. And then the same thing over here. I should be able to drive the tractor backwards down this with the brush hog and mow this now. And it's going to be much easier to maintain than what you see on the other banks. And eventually maybe I'll do this all the way around the pond. I said I was going to take the excavator over there next, and I might still get to that today, but I think first I want to clean up the bottom. All this loose stuff, I want to dig some of that out and use it to fill this hole. And I might throw some of it up onto the island, might throw some of it out, I don't know, but I think I need to get down in there and clean it up. I need to get it where I can drive right here too. The only real issue I have with the way this pond project turned out is that this excavator doesn't have quite enough reach to really do a good job of packing material on top of this new pond island now that I've widened it out. You see me right there pushing on it and trying to compact everything. I did my best, but I could just barely reach the top, and you have no leverage to really put pressure on it. And I don't have any piece of equipment that can get over there and pack that in. So I'm going to have to do some of that manually or use a plate compactor. Really, the only reasons I drove down in there was to fill in the hole where I had been setting the trash pump and to kind of flatten out the bottom and then try to pack down the sides. I really did not expect to add water back into the pond anytime soon. I honestly thought this side of the pond might not see any water until spring. But once I got to this point, I started to look at the height of the water level in the main section of the pond compared to this, and realized that it's still higher on the big part of the pond than it is on the low part, and that I had the opportunity to add some water if I wanted to. And because the main section is 3 or 4 times bigger than the smaller section, it doesn't take much to fill this side up. Essentially what I'm saying is if I drop the water level by a foot on the main section, it will add 5 feet or more of water to the small section. So I decided to just go ahead and do it. And I'm a little bit nervous that having water across this area is going to make it harder to finish building the second bridge, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, pun intended. Now, this part of the process was really exciting for me. And after it was done and the water floods over, I stood out there for an hour and just looked at it. Like, I kept thinking, I need to go inside, I'm tired, I want to get something to eat, and I just couldn't pull myself away from staring at it. And I have broke the dam. We have water running. Now, it's not going to fill up, but it's going to run some, because this is a lot higher than that. So that's going to do it for this video. We'll have more updates on the pond project soon. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. Put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.